Brand new, boys and girls. Look at that. Me and old Jeff here decided to treat ourselves to something a little special for once. We bit the bullet and bought us some new 562 XPs. Brand new, both 2020 models. Figure with all the chaos going on in the world nowadays, especially in the year 2020, it's nice to have something to look forward to. Jeff's bar hadn't come in for his yet, so he's running his 24 light on his. That's the bar they sent me with mine. It's got the new X-cut chain on it. For those that don't know or haven't had the experience, this is my first experience with it yet, but one of the main differences I notice is if you look at that hook on the top of that chain there, they've took out a lot more gullet than a standard grind, and that side beak and top, that working corner, is a lot more defined, I would say, than a standard chain. So those are the main differences for those that have been wondering, or those that didn't know of an X-cut, because there's your standard chisel chain. This is an Archer chain.
It hasn't been sharpened yet.
Yeah, this is a factory grind, and it's cut a couple stitches of wood, but it was in soft pine. But if you look, that top beak is nowhere near, and that working corner is nowhere near as defined as that X-cut chain. So that's what I noticed straight out of the box. This saw here is not cut, that bar is not cut a stitch of wood. This saw is brand new. I literally just fired it up for the first time. First tank of gas. It's not seen a piece of wood. Neither saw has. That bar there has, but it was on Jeff's old 385 XP. But brand new. That Oregon's probably not gonna stay on here because, as I've said before, you and me, I'm sure those that watch me and Bellhopper have said that these lightweight bars are so much lighter than a standard bar. That's a 24-inch Sumira bar.
And the weight difference is insane.
It's crazy. This bar right here, this is a 24, that's a 20, both 5.0. And that bar on that saw is so much lighter than this one. This one's mine, this one's Jeff's, and this one's lighter than mine. So the difference is unreal. It's astronomical. I mean, you've got,
which is what I wanted. I wanted a light bar.
four extra inches of bar, and it's lighter than that. But I mean, free is free. You know, I'm not going to argue with a free bar. No. Jeff's got a free bar coming too, but his just hasn't got here yet. But anyway, figured we'd bring you along and show you what we got going on today. We're both uberly excited. We've been talking about this for quite some time, and
we wanted to do it. We wanted to do it both at the same time.
Yeah. So we pretty much did. Jeff ordered his Saturday, this past Saturday, and I ordered mine Tuesday. We like to use hobby to fund the hobby, because this is, I mean, we do use our saws to make a living sometimes, but for the most part, it's a hobby. And so my thing is I like to use a hobby to pay for the hobby, so I'm not spending money out of my pocket. So he sold his 385 XP to buy that. He still has 372 and all that good stuff, and I sold the, some of you are probably going to get mad at me for it, but I sold the old Echo Twin, and that funded me the money to buy this.
He wasn't going to do it at first. He was going to wait.
I had a little persuasion. He kept wanting me to do it. He kept aggravating me and teasing me.
I really wanted him to do it because we both deserve it, and so I finally wore him down long enough to get him to order one.
Yeah, he got me into it. I've been talking about it for a while. I almost decided to buy a 572, but I wasn't able to. I really didn't want to spend the extra money to be honest with you, because we got sweet deals on these saws. It was
really sweet.
I mean, it was pretty much, you know, over $100 off of the retail MSRP price for these. So I always try to look for the best deal on anything that I buy. That's just me. I guess that's the businessman in me, or the business side of me. I've always been like that. But always try to find the best deal.
Stahl's in New York.
Charlie Stahl out of New York. If you're if you have a Facebook or whatever, you can get a hold of Charlie Stahl. And if you're looking at purchasing a new saw, he's the man. They're the men for the job. If you're looking at purchasing one of these, or any Husqvarna really, they've got all kinds of stuff. They got good deals on bars and everything too. Good people to deal with. They're super nice, and they take care.
I think he still has some 370.
They take care. Well. Yeah, they've got 372s. They've got 395s, stuff like that, and they might even have access to a 3120 if you're looking at purchasing something like that.
But I want to give him a shout out. I mean, I was a little impatient because I was so excited, but I really appreciate the deal that he gave us, and he got it here, and it's here.
Yeah, they're here and they're intact. We're gonna go put them in some wood and let y'all see that for the first time. We're both excited. Like I said, these saws are both completely brand new. Nothing's been done to them. We're gonna run them stock for a while, break them in, see how they do, and go from there. I know there's crazy amounts of videos of 562s already on YouTube, obviously, but we're not really doing it for that. We're doing this for the people that follow us and want to see us and what we do on a daily basis. I know we need to get into filming more of what we do, but sometimes it's difficult, and sometimes what we do ain't very exciting. So I, don't always bring you along for that.
Yeah, like today, we've got to go look at a yard, give a guy a price on a backyard and mow.
Yep.
And stuff like that's not very fun. But I mean, if you guys want to see it, let us know, and we'll try to, film it if we can.
Yeah, we'll try to get in there and do some filming for you. Crazy hair this morning. Just got up and traveled down here. Really didn't. I was uberly excited about my new saw. So I was just ready to get on with it and get my saw fired up.
I laid in the bed last night and looked at mine. I had it on a shelf in the bedroom.
Yeah.
I was in there looking at it all night.
Poor Jeff had to wait all weekend because his was right in front of his face. He wanted to wait and fire them up at the same time. But yeah, it's I had to wait too. I was out of town for the weekend, and mine was here. I had it shipped here, so I didn't have to worry about it sitting on my porch or getting stolen. So I had it shipped here since I was gone.
Oh, and by the way, they oil really well.
Yeah, his is oiling really well. You see that bar soaking wet. And we turned it down a notch. Mine so far seems to be oiling about the right amount. I haven't touched it yet, but so far so good. We'll see how it goes. If we have to make some adjustments, we can make some adjustments, whatever needs to be done. But also, one other thing, not to rave about Husqvarna. As you can tell, we all favor Husqvarna, but we're not completely biased. I'm open to other brands as well. But if you've not tried one of these cans yet and you're on the fence about it, these cans are awesome. I'm not sponsored in any way. I'm not getting paid to say any of this, but these cans are
absolutely awesome.
They're sweet, especially for these newer saws. If you have older saws, and when I say older saws, I mean like stuff with top gas tanks like McCullough's or something like that, these cans aren't really for those. But if you have any saw, steel, Husky that's got side load, oil and gas, then they're sweet.
Yeah, now some of your stuff is gonna have a little bit smaller.
Yeah, some of the older stuff, the 2 Series Huskies on the oil cap side, it's smaller. Well, I wish they wouldn't.
My 543, it's a little bit small, but it will go in there. It goes in there. You just have to stick it straight in there and straight out.
Yeah.
You can't. angle it.
The 543 is branded Husqvarna, but it's actually a J-Red saw, or not a J-Red, a Red Max, excuse me.
Yeah.
If you look up the saw, you can actually find it in Red Max color on the website. Same saw, same price, no difference. But the 543 XP is on there.
It's actually new. They're actually not much less than one of these. I mean,
yeah,
really, if you get down to brass
543, that's the only downfall to the 543 is it's just so expensive, but it's a good saw. It's a good saw.
It's
but
been very good to me. I like it very much.
These, there's a storage compartment right there for gloves or whatever you want to put in there. I think that's what they intended it for, is gloves. You've got little hooks right here you can hook a sling on and carry it with you in the woods if you're falling or whatever. It holds 2.5 liters of oil. It's measured in liters because it's Swedish, so they measure everything in liters. I've had this can for over a year now, and I've used it a pretty good bit. I try to take care of it so it's not completely beat up, but I've used it. I've got several files and stuff in here. It's got a spot for a flat file, even though I don't have a flat file in there. And this is your actual file holder right here, and scrunches and stuff like that. And it holds 5 liters of gas, which is just over a gallon. It's like 1.3 something. I don't know the exact math on it. I've looked it up before, but it's 5 liters, so it's a little over a gallon that it holds. Perfect for falling if you're out in the woods falling trees and you want to carry something. I know a lot of people don't really care about them. A lot of people worry about these nozzles. These nozzles are pretty well made. They're pretty solid. These cans are built pretty well. They're not cheap chintzy plastic. That's really hard.
No, they're not.
It's really hard.
They've been dropped and knocked over.
Beat on, sliding around in the back of the truck. I mean, they're pretty solid cans for what they are. They come with 2 different nozzles too. They come with a screw on that you can just pour straight out of here too. So if you don't like these type of nozzles, they come with those too. But these nozzles here are like a gas pump. If you got your nozzle in there just right, they stop. If you're pouring gas in, say this saw right here, they stop for you. So you don't really have to worry about overfilling your saw. Which I thought was really sweet, and it's really ingenious, to be honest, which is really nice. But anyway, that's enough ranting, enough raving. Just figured we'd bring you along. We're gonna go out and try these things out, so we'll bring you along for that. Over and out. All right, and we're back again. We got a little bit of time on them now, as you can see. We're gonna give you a little teaser video. There's gonna be plenty more to come of both saws, but we really didn't have the best wood nor situation today. We tried to find a little bit better situation, but we found a nice little pine log we can cut on. And
we're right out of gas.
It's every bit of 20, probably 22 inches at that end of the thing where we're cutting at. But we're both almost through a tank of gas, but we got enough to make a few more cuts for y'all. For y'all's entertainment. Didn't bring the tripod, so I'm gonna get Jeff to hang on to it, and then we'll probably switch off and I'll hold it for him running his. So, well, we might just go ahead and let him go first since I'm already filming. So if he wants to go on and make a cut, like I said, his stock Archer chain is not really doing the saw justice. I mean, it's sharp, it's throwing chips, but it just ain't.
But it's not doing what it should do.
It doesn't quite have the pull. Guys, I don't get impressed very often by a lot of things. You know, as far as factory stuff goes, especially factory chains. But this X-Cut chain is awesome. It's got pull straight out of the box. And I know we're just cutting pine, but still I personally believe that it would do the same thing in hardwood. So the only downside to me is it's quite a bit more expensive. And you can take a stock factory chain with a little bit of time and filing out of the box. You can make it what this X-Cut chain is, in my opinion.
It's already like it's had 3 filings on it already.
I mean, yeah, it's got
It cuts like.
it's got pull right out of the box. I mean, you literally, there's no pushing on it at all. You literally set the saw on the freaking log and let it eat. I mean, it just flat cuts. I mean, there's not any other way to explain it. But I'm quite pleased with it. Would I buy another one? Yes, but again, it comes down to a money standpoint. I don't know if I would spend the money on a regular basis on the chain if you have the amount of saws that I do. Now, if you have 1 or 2 saws, you know, it might not be quite as bad, but as many saws as I have, if you try to buy X-cut chains for all of them, you'll end up bankrupt.
I'll tell you what I want to see before I invest in any. What I want to see is the longevity of the edge of the chain. And I know in pine you're going to get longer life out of it anyway.
Well, it's hardened, and it's
kind of like steel chain.
Yeah, it's a lot like a steel chain, but except, in my opinion, this has more pull. This cuts better than a steel chain. It's like
hard.
It's like a steel chain, but it cuts better. I mean, that's literally the best way to explain it. If you're familiar with steel chains and the longevity of a steel chain, then it's pretty much the same thing, in my opinion, as far as that goes. Husqvarna really did it right with this. They stepped up. They stepped up and they've done something quite impressive, and it does the 562 justice. It makes it cut like it should. So I can't complain.
Oh, and by the way, this is my grandparents' house.
This is his grandparents' property. It's beautiful. Beautiful piece of property. He had recently had these pines fall on the meat shop / boat shed. It's where all the deer get processed. Used to be.
We'll show you guys that one day.
Used to be where the cows get processed, but now it's pretty much just deer. And every once in a while, a little bit of pork. But yeah, he recently had some storm damage. These pines here fell. Had one fall on the meat shop. They're actually waiting on. I know you can't really see it good because everything's overgrown right now. But yeah, it did a great deal of damage, and he had somebody come in with a machine and take care of all this. They're gonna get it mulched down, hopefully, and get everything where it's not sticking up like this. But we're just in here playing a little bit. We offered to come do it, but the insurance company was gonna get involved with it, and they was gonna wait and see how that went over. So that's why we didn't get involved with it. They just wanted to wait and get everything evaluated before anybody touched anything. So that's why we haven't done anything. But anyway, that's enough rambling. We're gonna show you a little bit about what we got going on here. And after today, this saw is probably gonna end up with a lightweight bar on it, because after switching back and forth between the 2 saws, it's a big difference.
And also, we're finding on the hot starts, and I'm not sure if it's because they're brand new. I'm sure it probably is, but they struggle a little bit with the hot start issue.
If you cut it off and you just try to pull it and crank it like you do a normal saw, and I've had trouble even with non-auto tune saws and different saws. Even some of mine on a really hot day, some of mine do it. But what he's saying is if you don't know what the hot start issue is, without giving it just a smidge of throttle or setting the well, on these here, we've been setting the high idle setting, which is, you know, the second setting. It's no choke, but it sets the throttle just enough, and you pull it once and it usually fires right back up. But if you just, say if I grab this saw right now and I just try to pull it, there's a chance that it will start and there's a chance that it won't. Sometimes it takes, 4 or 5 pulls before it'll start. It'll fire, but it won't stay running. But as soon as you set the high idle, first pull, it fires up every time. And it's hot today, guys. I mean, the humidity is down because we got some rain, but it's like 97 degrees right now. That's a good example right there. And he'll set the high idle and it'll probably fire right up.
I'm standing on a real awkward angle, so I'm okay though. Oh, we might run out of gas, Andrew.
Maybe. You're out of gas.
Yep, she just
I think I got more. I think I got enough for a cut or two. We'll get it.
Give it to me. There we go. Yep, she's low.
I think I got enough for a
gas.
cut. I think I got enough for a cut or two. We'll see what it does.
Go ahead. Here, let me get over here and get situated. Hey.
Sap.
And then sap.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. You'll have it on them big jobs.
Yeah, you can see the sight glass on it. There's nothing in it.
Yeah. Well, let's see how this one does. I think I still got some.
That X cut rips.
All right, this is gonna be no high idle. We'll see what it does. Okay, now we're gonna set high idle. Or not.
Out of gas.
So a little update. My phone got hot. So the first time it's ever done that, but it is hot today. Like I said, it's like 97, 98. It might even be hotter than that now, but the truck said 97 earlier. So it is hot. Like, it's not really that enjoyable. The only reason we can even be out here doing this right now is because we have new saws and we're a little more bearable, or it's a little more bearable when you got something new to play with. But also the humidity's not quite as terrible today. I mean, you can actually...
Drew, let's put the light on and give them a little sneak peek of this over here.
I was thinking about doing that. We're gonna give you a little teaser or something else for those that like the old saws. But as you can see, it's hot. I'm sweating pretty bad. So yeah, we're gonna bring them in here and clean them off. Doing a little, waiting on the air compressor to build up. While we're doing that, we'll give you a little sneak peek. But that's why when the phone got hot, it stopped filming. But you got a little sneak peek. There's gonna be plenty more. But there's a little sneak peek of that. For the vintage saw people and the people who like home lights. If I can get the barbed wire to let go of it. All right. This thing's a brick. Compared to that 562, this thing's a brick. Oh, look at that. I believe that's the 30-inch bar, but you don't see these every day. I know this is the holy grail home light from what I understand.
Those happen to be, yeah.
This is what everybody who collects home lights aspires to have, is one of these. It's massive. It's a big saw. The video don't really do it justice, but I mean, there's my hand for comparison. I mean, that's the air filter cover. That thing's massive. So it's a big saw. This one's in pretty good shape. It's dirty. It don't ever get used. It just sits. It needs a little work. It'll run. I've had it to start and run before, but it needs a little help. But we're gonna, hopefully, if Jeff can get his grandpa talked into it, we're gonna get it pulled out one day and go through it and make it right and get it running. And he's talked about selling it, so, but they're still undecided yet. They don't know what they're going to do with it. They haven't decided what they want to do with it yet. But a little teaser. You get to see all kinds of stuff today. But all the axes too that are over there.
Oh, there's more down there behind the trash can. Y'all can't see.
Buku's the axes. The old stump.
He does that. He does a lot of that stuff.
A lot of wood. Yeah, a lot of old stuff. A lot of old axes. Vintage axes.
All those deer antlers up there. These cabinets down here are full too, where all the walking sticks are.
Walking sticks he makes. Walking sticks he makes. His grandpa makes. 75 years old. He still gets out here and fiddles around. But anyway, let us know. But we're definitely going to be making more videos with these.
Oh, we haven't even gotten
This
started.
is not even scratch the surface of what we're going to be doing with these. It's going to be difficult to want to use anything else right now. The ergonomics of these things are just great. I mean, really they are. It's so comfortable and it's so smooth. It just feels good in the hands. And I'm a big guy, and it's nice. It's nice for me, and Jeff's not really that big, and he it's comfortable for him to use too. So it doesn't really matter how big you are. It's really nice for pretty much everyone.
It's worth every dime of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you catch the right deal, you can't go wrong. I mean, they're good saws. Had that little bit of a trouble with the starts, but they're still new. First tank of gas, it might get better as they break in. But other than that, I mean, everything's great. I mean, it runs great. And I think it's going to get stronger as it breaks in too. So,
we do run a little heavier.
yeah, we're running 40. We're running 40 to 1 in them also, because I don't really like 50 to 1.
And there was a little bit more of an adjustment period, I think.
Yeah, mine seemed to adjust to it pretty quick, but I did let it run for a little while and let it run steady. But Jeff's took a minute to adjust to the 40 to 1 and everything. It didn't really want to idle right when it first started, but we come over here and we cut wood with it and run it some, and it's cleared up, straightened out. But I'd expect it a little bit, because it's not exactly what the factory recommends, but I don't really care what the factory recommends. It's what I run. It's what I believe in.
I want my bearings to have more lubrication.
Yeah, I like extra cushion for the bearings and everything. It's nice. I want it to last. So
yeah.
I'm not one of those guys that's going to buy another one in 2 years or a year or whatever, 6 months, however often people buy them. But so far I like it. I like it a lot. I don't really get impressed with stock stuff very much, but this thing's pretty nice. I mean, I'm not going to lie, for a stock saw, it's nice. I might do a little video where we put it up against the 359, the Hot Rod 359.
I can certainly see where some people say that it runs about like a stock 372.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't have, maybe not as much low end, of course, because it's a bigger cylinder, but it's not that far off, folks.
It bores down to, there's no replacement for displacement, but in the end, my personal opinion will remain the same about it is there's really no replacement for displacement if you're going to be running a longer bar. Obviously, you want a bigger saw, but 24-inch bar, and if you need to occasionally run a 28, I think it would do it.
It will.
It's just more comfortable for permanent use for like a 24, 28. Now, if you're just lemon and you don't really have a lot of big stuff and you just like the long bar, so you don't have to bend over, obviously a 28 will be just fine for you. But if you're planning on burying that 28-inch bar all the time and falling with it, I don't know if I'd want to do that all the time. But if it was your only saw and you needed to get it done, I think it would do it, honestly. As long as you didn't ask too much of it, as long as you were a little patient, I think it would get it done. It's an impressive little saw to be 60 cc's is what the top cover says, but if you look online, everything says 59.8. It's making, I think it was like 4.8 horsepower is what they're rating them at, which is pretty close to 5 horsepower out of a, you know, you can argue both ways, 50, 60 cc saw, which is pretty impressive in my opinion. 60 cc's saws are also getting a lot more popular because everybody's looking for something with more power and less weight. They want that power, but no, you know, they don't want all the weight that comes with it. And
I mean, when I ordered the saw, talking to the guy that we ordered them from, he told me that now, and this is in his area, you know, it varies. But he told me that a lot of the guys are swapping in, you know, their older saws, and I mean, they're running these every day.
yeah, there's a lot of old loggers that are swapping in 372s and 390s and 385s and stuff, and they're buying these just because they're lighter, and you know, they don't have quite the low end that those saws do, but you know,
it still gets it done.
the main thing is not bearing down on them too much. If you keep the RPMs up and let them cut, you know, keep your chain sharp, let them cut, do what they're supposed to do. It's really an impressive saw, and it's got, I mean, it's got more, personally, it's got more low end torque than I expected it to have. This is not my first run-in with a 562. I've run one before. I've run Bellhopper's 562. But it's not fair because Bellhopper's 562 is not stock. His saw is ported. So it wasn't fair, but this is my first time running a stock 562. And I'm thoroughly impressed with it. I'm really happy with it. I believe it's going to replace quite a few of my saws. So I'm probably going to put a few more things up for sale and kind of downsize a little bit. As much as I hate to, but you know, I can't run them all. And this replaces a lot of it. You know, it's really hard to keep 30 something, 40 chainsaws running. You know, not everybody has that problem, I understand, but I do. So, it's a little difficult being able to.
And I think that eventually I would have had that problem if we wouldn't have bought these.
Jeff probably would have ended up falling in my path, but the thing is he had an advantage because I've already been there, done that, and bought it and had it and whatever else, and so he'd always ask me what I thought about something. I'd give him my honest opinion just like I do everybody else. You know, you ask me, I give you my honest opinion, what I think about it. I'm not going to be biased. I like Husqvarna, but I like steel too. There's some steels that I like. There's some, I've got Polands, I've had McCulloughs, I've had,
I'm a huge fan of an 044.
Yeah, 044s are great saws. I like a 460 or 046 because I think it's a good all-around saw. 044, 440 is kind of the same way. It's like a 372. You really can't go wrong. They're tried and true. They've been around forever, and they get it done day in and day out. You just can't go wrong. But, oh, and something else you don't see every day while we're on here. 028 with a bow bar.
Oh, yeah, pull it out of there and let them see it, Andrew.
028 with a bow bar.
Here, I'll pull it out of
there. It's something you don't see every day.
Oh, let's see. I said I would. There's something you don't see every day either. Well, come on.
015.
015.
Yeah, 015 steels. They're pretty common.
I gave him that saw, actually.
They're pretty common, but a lot of people don't really. If you're not familiar with some of the older stuff, you might not know about them. We're dragging this video out a lot longer than expected, but hey, we keep seeing new stuff, and I know some people like to see it. That's Jeff's grandpa's go-to. That's what he cuts wood with, firewood. He still uses that saw.
He uses it every time he cuts wood.
He doesn't cut wood very much, but when he does, that's what he picks up.
And before this, he had another shop and it burned down. But anyway, before this, I believe what he had was an 044 with a bigger bow bar. But that is what he has used since I can remember. Being a kid, and you know, we had the wood stove and everything heating the house, and that's what he cut firewood with.
pretty cool, I think. Bow bars are cool.
It's easier for him because of his back. He doesn't have to bend over, I guess. I've run one a little bit. It's kind of weird. Andrew thinks it's really weird.
Well, it's not really practical for me because I still have to bend over. Personally, I like a 28-inch bar. 28's nice for me because I don't have to bend over. 24 I can get by with a lot of things, but the 28's the sweet spot for me.
If he was a little younger and in a little better shape, I think I would buy him. What did we decide on, Andrew? 26 with a bow bar.
026 or an MS260.
He would like very much.
Well, I think he'd like it I think he would like it now because it's lighter than that 028, but it's got a little bit more grunt. Even being a smaller saw in displacement, because that's a 028 Super, so that makes it 52 cc's. The 020, the 026s were 48 or 49 cc's, and the MS260 is 50 cc's. I think the 026 was 48 or 49. The older 028s, just a 028 WB, which stands for wood boss, or 028, they were 48 cc's, I believe. I believe this beast here is 100 and I think 11, 12, something like that, somewhere in there. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure on that one. If I'm wrong, tell me. But I know I'm somewhere in the ballpark. Anyway, I know it's a 6-cube saw. It's over 100 cc's. I want to run it once just to say I've done it, but that'll be future video because like I say, they're still undecided. But
well, I mean, really, we could get it out and mess with it anytime we want to.
Yeah.
Just having the spare time to get it out.
Well, it's got to be gone through, and it's going to take a little money to fix it.
I mean, it runs now.
It runs, but it needs some work. It needs I think it needs probably carb kit, fuel lines, basic stuff. I think it'll help it out. It probably needs it. It's been sitting. It don't never hurt to do that kind of stuff. And also check for air leaks just to make sure, because you definitely don't want to fry that. Definitely don't want to fry that old saw. But anyway, that's enough rambling. I think we got to get some work done. But hope you enjoyed. Stay safe out there. And stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Subscribe. Watch my videos. I think you'll like them, because if we get to filming like we need to, or like we should, we can produce some cool stuff. I think we got some cool stuff that we can do in the works, and with everybody watching and helping us out, I think that we can make even more cool videos. So subscribe, watch my videos, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you make sure that you get all the notifications from me. If you're over here from Bellhopper's channel, welcome. And also there's one other fella that I want to welcome. Joseph Harris, welcome. Again, Joseph Harris, welcome. I know that you're new and you just recently purchased a saw from me. I know you watch Bellhopper's channel. I'm Bellhopper's apprentice, whatever you want to call me. So I just want to say welcome to you and everybody else. Sorry if I haven't mentioned names. I stay busy a lot, so I don't really get the time to sit down and write all this stuff down. But the reason why I remember Joseph is because he did purchase a saw from me, and he said he just received it yesterday. So welcome, and I hope you get that 410 home light going, bud. Hopefully it works out for you. Yeah. If you ever need anything else, just let me know. Anybody want a saw, need a saw? I'm always wheeling and dealing. Always got something. I like to call myself like the chainsaw guy, because I try to put chainsaws in their places. People that appreciate them and collect them and whatever, because I do deal with old stuff too. So we try to do that too. It's not always about the money, really. It's about doing what's right, putting things where they belong. Like a lot of guys do with museums and stuff. They put stuff where they need to be. I like to see stuff get used, but I also like to see it get appreciated too. So that's just me. I collect things that I can use. I don't mind a wall hanger every once in a while, but I like stuff that if it's going to take up space, I want to be able to use it. But anyway, that was just a random quick thought. But anyway, now we're for sure over and out.